Hi, welcome to the KaiNexus Continuous Improvement Podcast. I'm Mark Rabin, a senior advisor with KaiNexus. You can learn more about us and our continuous improvement platform at www.kainexus.com. Today, I'm reading a post written by my colleague Matt Bana from KaiNexus. It's titled Process Improvement Techniques for Operational Excellence. If you'd like to read the blog post, if you'd like to see the videos and graphics and things that are embedded in the blog post, look for a link to that in the show notes. Here's the post. Leaders who want to develop a culture of rapid continuous improvement have many tools at their disposal. So many that it can be challenging to keep them all in mind when deciding how to execute an opportunity for improvement or address a difficult challenge. Most organizations don't use all of these techniques simultaneously, but each can be remarkably effective when applied to the right situation. We put together a list of the most common and helpful business process improvement tools and techniques that you can start implementing today. Each will help your team improve product quality, improve customer satisfaction, and achieve optimal performance with minimal waste. And there's a video version of this post with Matt Bana embedded there on the page. That's also available on the KaiNexus YouTube channel. PDSA. A PDSA cycle, Plan, Do, Study, Adjust, also known as PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle includes the following. Plan. During this phase, it's crucial to not jump to solutions. As much as half the time in a PDSA improvement cycle should be spent on planning. The plan should identify the individuals who will be involved in testing the improvement and those who will be impacted by it. The plan should include a timeline and communication strategy. Do. Once you've completed the planning phase and made a hypothesis about specific changes expected to lead to measurable improvement, the do step can begin. This part of the cycle should be considered an experiment. And as with a scientific experiment, careful observation and data collection are just as important as the action itself. Study. During the study phase, the results of the experimental improvement are compared against the hypothesis, and we look to make sure that the change didn't create any side effects. Finally, the team gathers the data and analyzes it to determine if a measurable improvement was achieved and if the results meet the expectations defined in the plan phase. And then act or adjust. If the study phase reveals that the change resulted in the anticipated improvement without causing any new problems, then you can begin to adjust. The improved process becomes the new baseline for future operations and future improvement. Standard work documents are revised to include the change, and managers can modify performance expectations. Critically, the PDSA cycle is not a one-time event. Once the changes are in place, the cycle begins again, seeking to move the process ever closer toward perfection. Continuous improvement software, like KaiNexus, helps organizations manage the constant iterations of PDSA. So then we have A3. A3 reporting is a structured problem-solving and continuous improvement approach that was first developed at Toyota and is typically used by lean manufacturing practitioners and any organization that's leveraging total quality management. The use of A3s is spreading to organizations in every industry and is quite popular amongst our KaiNexus customers. An A3 report is one page that documents the results from the PDSA cycle, and A3s get their name from the A3 size sheet of paper on which they're designed to fit. In the US, that would be 11 inches by 17 inches. The problems with the A3 process typically revolve around transparency, communication, standardization, and long-term institutional knowledge. When you have people all around an organization filling out a complex document on paper, it's nearly impossible to know who's working on what, get everyone to stick to the standard process, and share that knowledge with others over time. A3 software, like KaiNexus, makes it possible to view your A3 reports electronically in the layout you're used to, with the critical benefits of increasing transparency and accountability. In addition, such software allows for you to drill down into the details of any A3 on the spot and share improvements to drive a more widespread impact. And you can see a video where Matt Bana talks about how KaiNexus supports A3s in the blog post. 5S. 5S is the name of a workplace organization method initially applied in manufacturing. But today, many organizations in a wide variety of industries have since found that 5S is an effective way to achieve rapid continuous improvement. 5S focuses on improving 5 elements that make people more effective and efficient in their work. It earned its name because these 5 principles start with the letter S in both Japanese and English. I'll add, I've seen it translated into other languages. But in English and Japanese, we have sort or sairi. Keep only what is regularly used in the workplace nearby. Then set in order or saitan. Arrange the space so workers can find precisely what they need to use really quickly, maybe in less than 30 seconds. Shine or saiso. Ensure that the workplace and equipment are clean, maintained, and ready for immediate use. Standardize or saiketsu. Each job is done in the same way, and everyone is challenged to offer ideas to improve upon that method. And then sustain. Foster a safe, efficient, and effective workplace is everybody's responsibility, and we have a culture where that can happen. Catchball. The idea of catchball is quite simple. Someone starts a rapid improvement or planning project. They define the purpose, goals, background, and challenges, and then, if you will, throw them to other stakeholders for opinions, help, and action. And this is throwing it to them, not throwing it at them. It's not like a dodgeball or a brick. It's a toss, and it's supposed to go back and forth. It's clear who has ownership of the idea or ball at any point. The ball can also bounce back and forth among all the players in the team, the improvement team, until the improvement or plan is complete. There might be catchball going up and down the organization, or it might be side to side across teams or functions. While the idea often starts with management, the ball moves freely up and down the org chart, or again, side to side. What's the point of all this extra effort? Well, you hire innovative, capable employees for a reason, and that's not just to pull levers or move patients without thinking. These team members all have the ability to contribute ideas and experiences in pursuit of achieving your strategic organizational goals. One of the most effective ways to develop a culture where everyone is working toward the same goals is to connect each layer of the organization, from the C-suite to the front lines, with the corporate strategy. When this alignment is achieved, everyone can work together to deliver value to customers. Catchball is a simple yet powerful tool for rolling out the plan so that it touches every individual in a meaningful way. And I'd add, catchball is quite often used in the process of Hoshin Kanri, or strategy deployment. DMAIC. DMAIC, or DMIAC, is a project management methodology with 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. These steps are used to help ensure that improvements are data-driven, measurable, and repeatable. The DMAIC improvement cycle is an effective technique for structured change management. The emphasis on measurement and analysis helps ensure that opportunities for improvement are executed in a way that provides the most positive impact. It's most useful for improvements that can be measured statistically, often using a process control chart. Define. We'll go through the 5 phases here. The define phase is all about selecting high-impact opportunities for improvement and understanding which metrics will indicate project success. During this phase, the leaders will perform activities such as identifying the improvement opportunity, outlining the project's scope, estimating the project impact, and creating a team. Measure. Existing processes are documented during the measure phase, and a baseline is established. Critical activities at this point include, but are not limited to, developing the methodology by which the team will collect data to evaluate success and gather, plot, and analyze current state data. Analyze. The goal of the analyze phase is to find and validate the root causes of business problems and ensure that improvement is focused on causes rather than symptoms. Doing so involves, in part, developing a problem statement, completing a root cause verification analysis, designing measurable improvement experiments, and developing an improvement plan. Improve. Once you reach the improve phase, it's time to determine which steps will be taken and then begin to roll out the changes that the analysis has prescribed. In this stage, it's common to generate and evaluate solution ideas, determine expected solution benefits, and communicate solutions to all stakeholders. Then control. The objective of the last stage is to develop the monitoring processes and procedures that will ensure long-term success. To do so, you'll need to do things like verify the reduction in failures due to the targeted root cause, determine if the additional improvement is necessary to achieve the project goal, update your standard work documentation and process map, and integrate lessons learned. Each of the phases should be documented and managed in your improvement software platform, and there's a screenshot in the blog post about how that works in KaiNexus. Gemba walks. The term Gemba means the real place in Japanese. The Gemba walk technique involves managers or supervisors going to the place where work gets done to observe and identify opportunities for improvement. Changes are implemented only after the walk is complete and a period of reflection occurs. In the blog post, we've linked to another article about do's and don'ts for Gemba walks. The idea behind Gemba walks is that the staff on the front lines of any workplace have the best ideas for improving the processes they operate since they're the ones doing the work. As a result, they'll come up with minor, low-cost, low-risk improvements that add up to a significant impact. Usually, these are ideas that senior leaders would have never thought up back in their offices. As the father of Kaizen, Masaki Imai said, Gemba can then be a hotel dining room, a car dealer's service department, a doctor's examination room. One place that is not Gemba is a manager's desk. The face-to-face time that comes from Gemba Walk sends the message that leadership is interested in the ideas of employees. By getting out of your office and talking to people on the front lines, you show your own dedication to rapid continuous improvement, which gives others a sense that they too can prioritize that work. In the blog post, we've also linked to a free ebook called Leadership Guide, How to Achieve Operational Excellence. So I hope you'll go check that out. But on with the post. Hoshin Kanri. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes called policy deployment or strategy deployment, is a strategic planning method that ensures everyone in an organization is driving toward the same goals. It's also a tool for balancing the need to achieve long-term goals and address daily improvement opportunities at the same time. And we've also linked to an article about some signs that would tell you if your organization would benefit from Hoshin Kanri. Unlike other approaches to planning, Hoshin Kanri is not done from the top down. People at every level of the organization are involved in setting the priorities and laying out the plan for success. Again, this is catchball. Here are some advantages of using the Hoshin Kanri approach. 1, a focus on action, not just on goals. It forces you to ask, where do I want to go and what needs to happen to get there? 2, improved organizational alignment from the front lines to the executive suite. And 3, increased engagement in improvement by promoting a sense of ownership and accountability for improvement. Next method is Kanban. The practice of Kanban originated at Toyota when they applied the visualization principles that grocery stores use to have on hand the right level of inventory. The idea is to maximize the flow of goods and work, and it's achieved through the 4 principles of Kanban. 1, visualize the workflow. 2, limit the work in process to a reasonable amount, the amount you're working on at a given time. Focus on maintaining a steady flow and continuously improve. This technique, even though it originated in manufacturing to trigger the movement or production of parts and materials, it's used by software companies, hospitals, fulfillment centers, and many other kinds of organizations. Any process where work is moved from one stage to another can benefit from the visualization that Kanban provides. Kanban boards were once physical artifacts that hung on walls, but today modern companies use Kanban software, and that includes KaiNexus, to make visual management a real-time practice that everyone can access regardless of the worker's location. And you can see an image of this, a screenshot in the blog post. Standard work. Standard work or standardized work is the documentation of the best practices for any task or process. It must be complete, accessible, and up to date. It forms the baseline for rapid improvement activities. Establishing standard work begins with creating, clarifying, and sharing information about the most efficient method to perform a task that's currently known to everyone performing that process. Once this information has been shared, everyone practices this standard consistently so that the work is done the best way every time. Now, this is where continuous improvement comes into play. Standard work isn't a set it and forget it approach, announced once and then permanently left unchanged. Instead, everyone should work to improve the standard of how the process works and then share new best practices as they're discovered. So we combine standard work and Kaizen. Okay, we've got two more approaches to cover here. We've got the 5 whys, and that's a root cause analysis technique. The practice of the 5 whys is deployed when a problem arises and a team wants to find and fix the problem, not just the symptom, but the deeper root cause. So first, a problem statement is created, and then the team simply asks why until the root cause is revealed. The number of whys needed to reach this point varies, but 5 quite often seems to be about right. When deploying the 5 whys, keep in mind that you're looking for flawed processes, not bad people. The idea is not to place blame, it's instead to uncover problems with processes, procedures, or standard work. Then finally, we have value stream mapping, or VSM. Value stream mapping is a system of visualizing the connection of every action or process that's required to produce a product to the value it ultimately brings to the customer. The term originated within the lean management method, but the concept can be applied to almost any value chain. A value stream map aims to identify and reduce or eliminate processes that do not add value to the customer and to improve those that do. The process varies from company to company and even from product to product, but generally includes the following steps. Choose a sponsor and define expectations. Assemble a team. Select the process to be mapped and the problem to be solved. Create the current state map. Evaluate the current state. Create the future state map. Plan and act, and then measure. Although it's a relatively simple idea, value stream mapping is an extremely useful way to help organizations focus on structuring processes around customer needs. In addition, it can identify opportunities for improvement and help eliminate processes that are not contributing to customer satisfaction. As you can see, the Rapid Continuous Improvement Toolbox is full of useful elements. Just follow my grandpa's advice and be sure to pick the right tool for each job. And let us know if there's others you think should be added to this list. So, again, if you want to read the blog post, get the videos, the links to the free ebooks and other resources, click on the link at the top of the show notes. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Mark Graban for the KaiNexus Continuous Improvement Podcast.